What's up, guys? This is Connor, and today on Jam Chats, talking to Mike Elliot, and we're gonna be talking about some of the things that he's been doing. He's a guitar player here locally in Ogden. Mostly play like dad rock's what we call it, you know, like just old 70s rock music. But you also played in a band, Merlin's Beard, a while. You know, we're gonna have to talk about this, you know. But it's like a thrash metal band, right? Merlin's Beard. What was the life period of Merlin's Beard? Because I know who they were, but I didn't quite exactly know like who all was in it, like, and how long you guys were together. But I know you guys were like people knew who Merlin's Beard was in Ogden. So, and you played guitar for them, right?
Yeah, we played with your band right now before.
Yeah, Dethrone the Sovereign. Yeah, before I was in the band, I was probably a kid still at one point, but I've been in Dethrone the Sovereign for the past 4 years, and that's only like a quarter of the lifetime that they've been together. They've been together for about 11 or 12 years, so maybe not a quarter, maybe a third. You know, so it's just this, you know, whole music scene that's been together and hasn't really gone anywhere. You know what I mean? So,
Ogden's a bit slow. I think it's just a lot of people don't put effort, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes it just kind of feels like we're in the middle of nowhere, you know, but there's some names that come through here, and sometimes I think it's just like, who knows who, you know, and being connected, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I want to start this podcast, is to kind of just like connect us a little bit more and like let people get into more styles locally and just figure out who's doing what. And so
get out of the box.
Yeah, so because you like jazz a lot, and so just tell you know, I'm a jazz guitar player myself. I just recently graduated from the U of U as their jazz guitar player, and you are aspiring to get into jazz guitar, you know. So tell me about what you like about jazz.
I would say just the whole experimental nature to some degree, you know, just taking an arpeggio, breaking it down, trying to improvise with it over chords, improvising, because why would you want to play the same thing all the time?
Yeah it's I totally agree. It's like there's two kind of performance aspects to music in my opinion, and it's kind of like a kind of rehearsed theatrical aspect in which you're playing something that's been performed over and over again the same way, you know, within some bounds, within the same way, and then there's completely improvised music or that is a little bit more free, and it's almost as if you're going to watch a live painting or something, you know,
soundscape.
You know, something like that, a live soundscape going to like a jazz or an improvised concert of some sort. You know, and it's really kind of, it's a different experience. They're completely two different things, but it's all performing no matter what, you know, whether it's the same thing you've played over and over again, like Dethrone, or like Merlin's Beard, where it's just the same songs off our record over and over again, and there may be one or two times where we just take the liberty of improvising over something, or we fuck up on accident, and so we improvise over. But it's not like a jazz concert where it's like, okay, we've got these tunes, this songbook that has been around for years, that are just classics that we demonstrate our musical understanding and ability over by improvising. And I think that's something that there's not a whole lot of like implementation of improvisation in music styles other than jazz. As far as what I see, I don't know. You know, maybe some, you know, blues, yeah, for sure.
Structured nature,
but there's definitely a lot of just like, I would almost say like theatrical, kind of rehearsed, compositional kind of approach to the way people, you know, so almost like people it's it's about production, but it's like similar to movie making, and we were talking about this earlier, where it's just like making a song is similar to making like a good recipe, a good sandwich, or a good movie. Making sure that it has certain events that you are drawn to, and a climax and a resolution, and things that all kind of are cohesive and make logical sense. So
It's got to have a plot.
a plot, some kind, and that's some of the song. I mean, I was writing a song earlier today, and it was just the first. I didn't know what to name it, so it's just the first thing I came up with, Comfort Waltz, and it was just a song I wrote in 3. And today is Sunday. It's pretty comfortable, and just called it Comfort Waltz. And that might be a song I use. It might be a song I just throw away. I don't really care that much, and I think that spontaneity is kind of like what I appreciate about that the most, and especially when I'm doing any of this kind of stuff, I try and be as spontaneous and try and not take as much control as possible, if that makes any sense. I think the more you want something, the more likely you're gonna get upset if you don't get it.
This
If that
is
makes
true.
any
You
sense.
never lust after the results.
Yeah.
Let your subconscious take over.
Yeah, it
That's who you
just
write.
feels it's better not to seek, something like that. Anyway, so we're gonna move on to like more of like the stuff that we're supposed to be talking about. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Mike. You gotta go into like Merwin's Beard, and then we're gonna talk about egregore. That's one of the main things that I want to talk about with you being on here. But first, I want to just know about you, your background a little bit. How old are you? And let us know where you're from, and like where you started, when you started playing guitar, your first ever music you ever heard, and then like where you went with all the music and guitar playing. So I just give me your whole
My life story.
your
my
life
spiel.
story, your whole guitar story.
All right. So I'm 29 years old. Lived in Utah my whole life. Pretty close to where this is being filmed at. I grew up in Roy, Utah. Pretty lame place. When I was 8, I started playing the plastic recorder with that Celine Dion song. My Heart Will Go On.
Yeah.
That was my first time, I think, really playing music. The first time I heard music was probably something on the radio, I don't remember. Some 80s or 90s pop song. Lots of church music, which sucked. No shredding guitar solos.
Yeah, no shredding.
And then, let's see. In junior high, I played the clarinet and saxophone.
Yeah.
But I was never into jazz music, so it was just like playing themes.
Playing out of like a Hal Leonard book, something like that, something to pass the class, and maybe there'd be 1 or 2 songs that the band director wrote that you would play. I was in band myself, so I played alto sax in 8th grade, and that was my experience in it. So I mean, not to say that's everybody's experience.
It was pretty similar. It wasn't fun. That's why I quit in high school.
Yeah.
And that's when I started playing guitar.
To me, honestly, that was the same thing, where it was like a runoff effect, kind of like placebo effect. Like, guitar was fun. I found, like, I developed it as a hobby first, and I was just, there's so much that I wanted to just like.
Becomes like a part of the angsty phase you go through.
Yeah.
You just went to, play some angry music.
Yeah.
At least a lot of people, they first get into playing like the angrier shit first, like rock and metal.
Yeah.
And they go back to like older shit or like jazz.
And it's fun too. That stuff is just fun to play. When you learn how to play an instrument, playing like some of that old thrash and just simple punk or whatever, it's just fun to play.
Cut my chops on Kill 'Em All and lots of Ramones stuff.
Me
so
too,
the
dude.
down picking down.
The Four Horsemen, dude. That was the first song I ever learned, I think, was Four Horsemen.
It's actually a rip off of a Kiss riff.
Really? Yeah. I think that's
Detroit.
I didn't know that. Yep. It's just faster, dude. It is. I hear it now. It's just faster. I've heard both those songs. I didn't make that connection, but I hear it now. And
Kiss is the first extreme metal band.
Dude.
The Corpse Paint.
It's true, dude. Anyway, so you just were in bands and then you stopped. And you started playing guitar and were angsty and you were a teenager and all that.
Yeah, I skated a lot. Was way into
Yeah.
Megadeth and Black Sabbath. Stereotypes, very stereotypes.
So let's talk about Egregore then. So you were in Merlin's Beard, and
There's a lot of history in between that I never released. There's like a bunch of EPs that I wrote, and it was just like kind of lost interest.
Okay, then maybe just like a little bit of a history about what was your first project that kind of like took off. Would you say it was Merlin's Beard, or was there a band before that, or it was kind of with the dudes of Merlin's Beard? I mean, let's start with your first kind of like successes and accomplishments.
Music? Okay. So Merlin's Beard, that was kind of thrashy rock and roll. I first played bass. I didn't ever... Some shit happened with the other guitar player. You know, as tends to happen with bands, people and egos, I don't know. Mm-hmm. He left, and I played guitar. We did a bunch of shows, played with Valiant Thor. They're a band from Venus. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Valiant Thor?
Skeleton Witch.
Awesome.
3 Inches of Blood. And then in Ogden, let's play 3 Inches of Blood at Mojo's.
Really?
No, I think it's a sandwich shop now.
But, Even Stevens or something. But Mojo's, there used to be 2 venues in Ogden. Mojo's in the basement. Like, did you play out of the basement ever? I never played at the basement.
Yeah.
They closed it down before I ever got to play there. But I went to shows there, and that was like the place in Ogden, other than Mojo's, where a lot of like for all ages, and as far as like tour package kind of bands that were coming through, and that's kind of like what local bands like that are kind of higher up on the food chain musically, like Merlin's Beard and Dethroned, who are opening for these bands and working with promoters regularly. That's kind of what we were doing. We're opening for these bands and these touring packages that are coming through these venues. Not currently, the pandemic and all that stuff. We'll get into that, but that's just what but that's how the world used to be. Is that we open up for bands that would come through it because we had not quite taken off and gone.
I could tell the time once there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
some science fiction stuff.
So Merlin's Beard, how long were you playing guitar for them, and how long was that together until it kind of split apart? I mean, whatever you want to say about it.
It split apart and became a different band, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
That I was part of as well.
Yeah.
Didn't quit. So I'm trying to think. I maybe joined when I was 20, and I played with them until I was 20. I was 19 actually, and then I played with them until I was like 21, 22, and then I quit because I was like, I'm gonna go back to school and be like a normie 9 to 5 type, because that's the mentality programming I had in my mind.
And you set goals. You want to go to school, and like you want to just do other things, and sometimes there's just times where the guitar sits on the shelf or whatever, collects dust.
I still played, but it was like more in the background.
Yeah.
Once I found out school's way more expensive than just downloading tabs online and playing guitar, then that's what I did. Yeah.
I mean, that's whatever is easy and accessible. So.
Yeah. And then so I talked to some of the guys from Merlin's Beard again. I was like, hey, let's start this other project, but be like slightly more extreme. I was like getting into black metal at the time. I mean, not saying that project was black metal at all, but it's more minor scale based, but it's some music nerd stuff. But it was called Barlow, after the Stephen King vampire from Salem's Lot, the blue guy.
I remember.
And then I quit. I have a history of doing that with those people. I'm sorry if any of you watch this. We're cool now.
Yeah, it's like any of it matters now, right? But just that it's a part of the history. So
I wrote some of the songs with them, and then they recorded them and released it. And I've seen them play a few times. They're a good band. Check them out. Barlow. You don't remember the name?
Mm-hmm. Sure Barlow. I think they actually opened for us at a show at Funk and Dive once. We headlined a show with Machines of Man and Hemwick, and I think Barlow.
I was there.
Really? Yeah.
I don't remember it.
That my gear crapped out that night.
Was it a Halloween show? No.
It was October 30th, I think. It was the night before Halloween, so I think it was in October. I don't know. I might be wrong. I think
It's
I might.
another lifetime. Pre-COVID days.
Yeah. It's just a distant memory. So, but anyway, that kind of does. There's some EPs and there's some projects in between. You're ending with Merlin's Beard / Barlow.
Oh yeah. So let's see. There's some other person I tried jamming with who wrote songs and didn't work out, and there's another person who did the same thing. Cycles repeat themselves.
Oh yeah, it just happens, you know.
And then randomly one day during this whole pandemic thing, I just was like watching Slaves to the Grind. It's about like the grindcore movement development sound.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call it music genre.
I'll have to check that out. Slaves to the Grind.
Yeah.
Right? Is it like a documentary? It's like a documentary. Yeah. Okay. And it's kind of like about the underground grindcore scene. Grindcore. So let's talk about what grindcore is. Grind. Yeah, everyone should know what grindcore is.
Oh, you don't know.
So grindcore is just like people like to compare metal to fine wine, and there's all these different types of metal genres.
That's like bottom shelf liquor.
Grindcore is probably bottom like $10, like $7 whiskey, something like that. But it's borderline just noise. So as far as what I know about grindcore, I listen to mathcore, and so we kind of have to like talk about what these terms mean, right? So we've got grind, whatever the hell that means, and core, whatever the hell that means, right? So core comes from hardcore, which is old, like not. It's kind of like I blatantly I'll say that it's like edgier punk, right? Punk is like kind of anarchistic and just kind of there is some sort of like funness to punk. Hardcore, I feel like that it was just grumpier. I don't know, it just felt like grumpier, and there is kind of like a bit of like angry vibes to that.
A lot more palm muting steps into metal.
Yes, and it just sounds a little bit different than sounds a bit heavier than punk, and it's not as fast. And so certain bands that are under core definition kind of fit, will have core kind of as like a suffix as their genre that they kind of fit in, and it's whatever. And so grind is another prefix. It's like it's similar to that. So kind of grind isn't something I'm as familiar with. I would say the craziest that I know would be mathcore. I listen to Dillinger, right? And, but that's as much as I really got into grind and noise. I didn't really. That's something you gotta kind of elaborate on for me.
Let's see, grind. How to explain that part of it? Abrasive sound, lots of tremolo picking on the guitar. If you don't know what that is, just listen.
Where does grind kind of like stem from? You know what I mean? Is what I'm saying like
part of history band wise?
Yeah, like what kind of genre? I would say like maybe thrash or black metal. That's people that wrote grind music were kind of inspired by older music.
Like Slayer and Discharge, the UK punk band with the D beat, and that's like so much grind. Like Napalm Death, they took it. So it's just playing like punk and metal stuff, like twice as fast. Mm-hmm. Lots of tremolo picking. Okay. It's like a punky breakdown type. It's not all the time. Okay. It kind of has like an abstract avant-gardeness about it, where it's like the song lengths can vary from like a few seconds to 4 minutes. Yeah. Like some Napalm Death shit. Mm-hmm. It's just really abrasive death metal with a more punk tinge to it. Mm-hmm.
Because it's got that core aspect, right? And you don't have this whole... Are there a lot of breakdowns in grindcore? Because I know that in core music, just metalcore, hardcore, breakdowns is like one of the things that... So is there not a whole lot of just breakdown sections in grindcore?
It's different than like modern breakdown stuff. It's more like,
and by breakdown we kind of mean this section, a heavy kind of bridge in a song that a lot of people like to ninja dance to in the pit, and people get hurt.
This is when drunk uncle goes to town.
When drunk uncle goes to town,
the pit goes down.
But don't even worry about it, because can't do any of this anymore. So
You're safe.
you're safe at home unless you want to ninja dance in your living room.
It's probably good exercise.
So Hardcore Keem, check out Hardcore Keem. That guy is really entertaining. Anyway, yeah. So I wanted to talk about egregore just in case the camera shuts down again. I don't want it to shut down in the middle of a discussion because then I have to dip out. So just whatever has kind of, was there anything that was kind of a little bit relevant that led up to how relevant,
right now?
Yeah, egregore.
Yeah, this is definitely true. So the term egregore, I have to start there, is just like, I don't know, some pretentious Victorian period occult terminology.
Yeah.
It's like a psychic thought form enough people put their like mind energy or thoughts into, and it becomes like somehow a tangible part of reality. I know this sounds very strange.
Egregore, does it come from the word egregious? You know, are you familiar with the word egregious?
Some etymology stuff I am unaware of.
I've just heard the word egregious. I don't have a dictionary on me right now. Anyway, we're not.
But anyway, it was like a term to the coronavirus type mass pandemic, like hysteria thing. I don't think we need to talk like that part too much, but this is like during the whole people freaking out buying toilet paper for some strange reason and all that shit. And so I was just like, yeah, that's a cool name to use because I feel like it's really relevant to like so many people have been like tapped into this I don't want to call it brainwashing, but essentially like everyone's losing their minds over this.
Yeah, it's
So part of the lecture is actually on the first demo. I just downloaded it on YouTube. This might be illegal. Who gives a shit? This is 2021.
Yeah.
Pirate rules.
Pirate.
And I download part of the lecture and I put it in between some of the songs. I did it really pretentiously. I was trying to mess with people. Yeah. So there's.
Well, I mean that's like sampling and using audio tracks as sample. It's just part of the art now. And it's part of the music now. So that's cool. I
was trying to share some knowledge. Mm-hmm. It's like a over a minute long lecture in the beginning, and there's a very short maybe 30-second long grindcore song.
Oh yeah.
And there's another lecture followed by another song. That's on the A side of the tape, and then you flip it, and I just recorded some sitar drum thing for 5 minutes over the whole thing. And I didn't anticipate to go anywhere. I just wanted to release one cassette and fade to obscurity because I was oh no, is
just for fun. I mean, just for fun. It's for the hell of it,
It's for fun too.
If the aliens ever came across it, this is like a memoir of humanity, something like that, But that turned out into being something else. So just how you got that online, and then how did it come to be that you started? So tell me about who you did the split with.
All right. Should I lead up to the split?
Yeah, up to the split. Okay. Yeah, the whole event.
I'll give you a condensed history. So the first demo was 2 songs. I hand dubbed all those by myself. Okay. And printed off the whole cassettes and shipped them out. And then I did a second demo, which was 2 more songs with some other weird interludes, and the other electronic shit I was messing with, a Korg synthesizer. I think that's what they're called. Synthesizers, and I was just wanted me to do some Tangerine Dream, spacey stuff, just early electronic music. And I really I was gonna do tapes of it, but I didn't at the time for some reason. And then I ended up releasing a tape with Sentient Rune Records, or Laboratories if you refer to them as that, because their full name is Sentient Rune Laboratories. Yeah. It's a record label located out in Oakland, California. Awesome. Because I had other songs written because I was maybe doing another split with someone else. Yeah. Because the guy from Sentient Rune must have noticed the split I did with my friend Ian of Throat Breach. Shout out to Throat Breach.
Breach.
Ian's tight. That's some grindcore you should check out. It's newer. Yeah. It's he's on Desert Wasteland Productions, but we also have I'm just gonna drop it now. Shout out to Warlock, future black metal project me and him have. That's all for now. And anyway, so me and him made a split of one of the songs I did on that second demo, and then it sold out on tape. I hand dubbed them again, and it was weird to see it on Bandcamp, next to certain famous people in the grindcore scene.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. seeing having dethroned songs on certain playlists, and I get it. I totally get
You
it.
become known to some degree.
Yeah.
Even, I just recorded shit for fun. That's
That's why it's so amazing. It just came out of your you didn't leave your basement. You know what I mean? Essentially,
it was an apartment, but I treated it like it was a basement. I blocked the windows out so the sun couldn't get in.
Tomato, potato. So.
And so let's see. And then I was maybe recording another split that never happened, and then those songs ended up getting used for the Thought Form compilation. So essentially, that demo compilation, it's 3 demos all put together. Because that song was meant to be one of the split songs that was going to be on the split with the guy from Poland. So, but that came out after the tape, just because the way things happen with my friend Ollie, who he plays all the music, has the vocals in Grave Disgust, out in California, Ventura, California, if I believe correctly. So we had a 5-inch vinyl record splint. That's a weird size for a split, 5 inches. But those all sold out in a day. There's only 10 available.
Oh, yeah.
And he's sending me one, so I should have that in the mail soon.
Cool. Yeah, I wanted you to bring some kind of copy, but it was after the fact. Once you got here, that would have been way cool. But we'll have a link to. You have a Bandcamp or something. Can have we're gonna have links to all that just in the description and
if
just
you
tagging all this. So
type in Egregore on Bandcamp or just anything in Google and type in that Thought Form, and you'll get pulled up to the music. It's probably your safest bet, but I'm pretty sure Connor will have some links as well. And there's also on YouTube some music. I'm supposed to be writing another album. It's kind of, I don't know. Writing music's weird. I don't know if you feel the same way.
Yeah. It's always in the works. You're always doing something, and so it's kind of when it's done, it's done.
There's riffs in the oven. I'm just waiting for them to finish cooking. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. It makes sense. We're all very delicate chefs. But yeah, the split that with the guy from Poland, that's.
I just got invited onto it because my friend Ollie and Grave. So there's multiple bands, similar death metal bands. So I'm at pause, Grave Disgust, and he originally was just oh, you want to do the split with me? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I just wrote the song Divinatory Hallucination, because the lyrical content in Egregore is I didn't intend to do this, but it just happened organically. It's pseudo autobiographical to my life in the hidden code. If you maybe understand the terms, you might get it. It's a lot of hidden references, some strange stuff you should look into.
That's awesome. That's cool, man. So, how long ago did that EP come out? It was earlier this year, right?
I think it was in September, and then the tape came out in October. And
earlier last year.
Yeah.
It's New Year, I forgot.
Doesn't even seem like it.
Yeah.
But I sold out of all the tapes on my Bandcamp, and so did Sentient Room, but there's still some available through, I think, seasonsofthemist.com.
Right. Yeah, I think that we had acquired one and we were listening to it at the house. It was cool, man.
Did Jake have it?
No, I think Noah actually bought a copy.
Noah.
Did Noah buy a copy? I thought Noah bought copies. So
that's true. I forgot about that.
But it was cool, but definitely you'll like it if you like it. You know what I mean? That's all I could say to the people. If you like it. If you're into grindcore, if you know what that even means, then you might like it.
Just extreme metal in general, just check it out. But
you'll probably like it if you do like grindcore. You might like it if you don't know what grindcore is.
There's some crazy guitar licks on there.
That's kind of what we're doing here. Is we're trying to introduce things that people might not know anything about, like grindcore.
Now you know.
Yeah, so, but is there anything else we can, if not, I kind of just want to move on to your guitar playing and where you're at with your guitar playing, if there's nothing more about Egregore, that's kind of eventually we'll get to
the future,
kind of the future, but that's going to be kind of at the end, but let's just talk about guitar playing now. I mean, play like kind of like dad rock kind of style, but obviously grindcore and thrash metal, like Merlin Spirit. Yeah, Merlin Spirit was like a thrash metal, death metal band, and turned into, and then that style stuck with you going into all these kind of like 70s rock aspects and all these like 80s, 90s thrash metal bands, but then like into where heavy music is now with like this grindcore black metal kind of underground scenes, like super underground. But like there's still just your love for guitar playing and music, and you really want to get into jazz, right? So I really want to talk about your guitar playing now and like what you think about the guitar and how you feel about it right now.
I hate it. It sucks. Never do it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, I love playing guitar. How do I feel about it? It's one of the greatest feelings next to doing a kickflip, but playing guitar is safer.
Yeah, it is safer.
Very euphoric.
You get hurt a little bit less.
Yes. I've hurt my hand a few times.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, a little bit less, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, always stretch your hands when playing guitar.
Yeah.
Don't forget. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, I really, like you said, I'm a fond lover of dad rock. This is because...
And so we use the term dad rock kind of as a joke. But we mean like old classic 70s rock that dads would listen to.
Or boomers, if you want to put it that way.
Whatever, old people. People that aren't young now.
Yeah. But it still sounds edgy to me, at least.
No, I mean, some of it kicks ass. I mean, yeah, I love it. I love it. It's worth... And people love playing it, you know, live in bars. And it's just popular music, you know. It's classic.
It's a good way to get the drunk moms to dance at the Chili's on a Friday.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you turn on like any Boston guitar lick and instantly. Not real. It's a fake daydream. It's only Bon Jovi that works. I'm not into butt rock though. See, like butt rock and dad rock is not the same thing.
Yeah, now we're getting into this whole like. There's also like rock is like flavors of wine.
Because there's also like the early 2000s thing of rock, like Creed. I don't know what it's
there's like a Christian flavor to it, you know, and it's just like there's a bunch of wings and clouds and stuff. Anyway,
back to dad rock.
Back to your guitar playing and anything else. You know, but you want to get into jazz.
Yeah,
like,
huge.
That's
John
one thing
McLaughlin
that's
fan.
cool. You know,
Wes Montgomery's one of my heroes at the moment. That changes all the time.
Yeah, you're constantly going to find new guitar players that have been around forever. You know, so Wes Montgomery. Yeah, it's just I love the way that he plays too, and it's very classic octave style with the thumb. You know, I uploaded a video earlier, and it's you know, the more you get into jazz, the more you'll find that it's like the older it is, the more it inspired other generations, you know.
Because you see the guitar techniques like going backwards through time that become like the whole arpeggio playing thing, like all over the fretboard. That's more like jazz playing. And just metal people kind of adopted that to. Yeah. You have to learn it, and then you'll go and you'll be able to like recognize it in playing when you see it.
And just kind of pull it when you need it, you know. Like how much guitar are you playing nowadays?
That's pretty much all I do.
Yeah. I mean, okay, that brings us to kind of our next point is the pandemic and how the pandemic has affected your life and your music playing. But yeah, let's kind of, how much have you been playing guitar during these times?
I would say it varies. I mean, early on in this, I don't know, the pandemic, I would say like a lot, and then maybe I lost interest for a while. Just reality got strange, as everyone can attest to at the moment.
Everybody had something more important going on, probably.
Yeah, like work. And then I traveled around for a bit. I went to Montana.
Yeah. And
Reno. Didn't really see anything in Reno and just drove back home. It was a terrible trip.
Yeah.
And then now, since it's like winter, we're all stuck inside.
Yeah.
Because in Utah, even if it's not snowing, it's unbearable being outside. If you're unaware, I've never been here. So you can't be outside too long, or else it's not fun. So I just have been sitting inside learning all these songs. Like stuff in West Montgomery.
Yeah, I've been learning more jazz stuff.
Yeah.
We might start doing lessons together here soon.
True.
You know?
So, up my chop.
Which I offer lessons to anybody if you'd like to take lessons from me. My email is in my description. Just send me an email. Yeah, but just playing like maybe an hour or so a day, you think, or maybe even more than that. Like what do you?
I would say half my day is devoted
Half
to
your
playing
day?
guitar.
Yeah,
But like you
that's
take
good.
breaks in between, you get sidetracked. Like I
Oh
gotta
yeah,
wash the dishes.
it's
you know?
like cumulatively, you
Yeah.
just end up putting a lot of time in throughout the day.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I feel like right now is the time to just like develop a skill that will keep you sane
Yeah.
during these
It's
harsh times.
find yourself a healthy distraction.
Yeah.
You know.
Video
But also
games aren't gonna cut it
keep
all
your
day.
keep your head up. You know what I mean? Like make sure stay smart and don't believe everything everyone tells you. Anyway, I think we can kind of get close to wrapping this up. So I think the last point I want to talk about is just the future for you and playing music, playing with egregore. What you want to do as like a guitar player? Are you going to take like dad rock further, jazz further,
Take
and then
all of it
like
further.
what about what about our scene? The local scene, the entire music scene, the grindcore scene. What do you think is going to happen? Just the future. Let's talk a bit about the future.
Oh, so I'm kind of taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Because it seems like every day the itinerary for the future gets slightly altered.
It is, yeah, and it's like it's so fickle. It's all back and forth.
Yeah, it's like I thought the whole back scene, I'd be like, cool, I'm going to start getting to go out again. And then it seems like
It's just all.
crazy lockdown maybe happening again.
It's like the spotlight of what is going on is being constantly shifted and moved around, and so it's hard to know everything at once. It's just so.
Information overload.
It is, and it's just like. And then there's so much whatever fake news, whatever. I'm not saying it's fake. I don't know anything about that, but it's like the idea that there might be false information given to us out there is just not helping.
Not been happening since you were a kid in public schools.
some 1984 crap. Honestly, read
Yeah.
that book. So, but yeah, I mean, it's important to talk about this because it's like now. Where people are starting podcasts and stuff, so we can kind of maintain some sort of relevancy.
Yeah, way to communicate to people on a wider scale before.
So
Who knows? Won't allow this.
yeah, and hopefully this can kind of connect us and get us to listen to each other and check each other out. That way, if and when things do go back to normal, we don't have to start from the ground up, and we kind of have people that are still putting in the work and wanting to do stuff.
Yeah.
And so, where do you see yourself within these next year or two, as far as playing, and as far as if things go back to normal, what do you want? Do you have any goals or things that you just want to do? That's the future. Things about the future, like hopes or dreads.
Let's see. Right now, I'm trying to improve my guitar playing in a few different avenues. Like you said, jazz, the dad rock, because every guitar player of Thin Lizzy is someone you can learn a lot of emotional guitar playing from. Because I feel like that's a lot of people are overlooking that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's there's definitely aspects of guitar player that people get so hyper focused on they ignore other things like. Phrasing and emotion and playing and stuff
Way
like
more important because everything's just supposed to be in context of a song.
Mm-hmm.
But up in my arpeggio game, just trying to memorize arpeggios all over the neck because that helps you learn.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just so much quicker.
Knowing it. There's such a value in knowing wherever what note you want to play is on the guitar. If I'm playing the 3rd string, 7th fret, I know that's that's a D. I had to say a few times before I pull it right out, but it's like if I think back, it's like someone can correct me, right? there's a value in knowing that, because you just don't have to look, and it's just something that becomes memorized over time. And some of the musician masters can just sit there and just and they can sing like and play everything that they're playing, and it's just it's insane. It's just crazy, you know. It's awesome.
It's like computing on another level.
It is. It really is. So, we're gonna get you to that point, you know, and you've told me you're interested in being a working musician.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And
don't want to be a slave to what's coming.
And there's a value and appreciation in being able to do something as a craft and make a living from it, and make you know and be able to turn into like an entrepreneurial lifestyle, and kind of be able to earn your own keep instead of relying on somebody else for your keep, you know.
Yeah.
And so I think that's one thing that all of us musicians kind of really thrive for, is our
because you're kind of rebellious
independency.
in nature. Like,
yeah.
I've quit a lot of jobs just because I'm like, oh, this is interfering with playing guitar.
Or something else get in the way, and it's like, are you going to settle down and pick one place and work it there for the rest of your life, or is there some kind of end game? Are you going to do something with your life? And it's just, no one's here to tell anyone how to do anything. It's just, what is it, you know? And so for some of us, it's just this music thing, regardless of what happens.
It's kind of like all the notes you're playing, it's like answering to the existential dread. You're trying to like answer that question, like, what is this all about?
Yeah. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. You know, is making it day by day. You know, as you were saying, just making it to the next day, right?
Especially now, because the itinerary is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
With the crazy riots happening.
Just all the craziness. Yeah. You know, it's everybody. It's hard for everybody to stay calm. Remember all those shirts that said "keep"? It had the crown that said "keep calm," and so I was like, "Damn, these shirts are getting annoying." It's like, where the hell are those shirts now? Those shirts are.
No one's wearing them now.
No one's wearing them now. It's like, keep calm. Like, why isn't anyone wearing the keep calm? Where did the keep calm shirts go?
Here's an experiment. How come everyone wear them again?
It's like, bring back the keep calm shirts. Maybe everything will fucking go back to normal if we bring back the keep calm shirts.
Maybe enough people just need to like
the one that said, it had like an onion and it said keep calm and onion or something stupid like that.
Chive-on?
Or Chive-on or whatever.
It's like it's an internet thing?
I don't know, dude. Just it was just another trend that got swept under the rug, like the That Boy meme or the SpongeGar meme. Anything that had like a half-life of 3 months and then just got forgotten about.
There's a lot of memes that like people laughed about a while ago, but now they're so, like the moth one.
There's too many things. Yeah, oh yeah, the moth, dude. Everyone was freaking out. I remember the moth. Everyone was losing their mind over the moth. And it's like, more people lose their mind over a meme than what's going on in the news. And it's like, what's more important, the memes or the news? It's like, who knows?
Dude, maybe memes cause what's happening in the news.
I don't know.
It's so interconnected.
We get, like, it's all part of our digestive feed of how we absorb what we see. Yeah. So, anyway, we're going to talk more about fucking conspiracies and, like, what actually may or may not be going on in the podcast. Mike's going to be on future podcasts here in the future. But I just want to say thank you for coming on, because I'm really stoked to have this podcast thing going on, and I'm stoked for Egregore, and I think you're a valued member of the Ogden music community.
Just very quiet.
You know, whether it's underground or out in the open doesn't really matter.
Everything's underground now.
Yeah, everything's underground now. As long as someone's doing something right now, that's all that matters. And so I just appreciate to have you on here and to be talking on, you know, about all the stuff that you're doing. And, you know, hope to have you on future episodes. But thank you. We're going to shake hands because I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
Okay, so... But anyway,
wake up, sheeple.
Wake up, sheeple. I'll see you on the next episode of Jam Chats. Bye, guys.
Tuning in, Channel 5. I'm Chip O'Hanahan.